What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got another video of some Americans living in France. This one is 34 fascinating cultural differences between the USA and France. Let's check this out, see what they have to say. This is an older couple. And they've been doing content around the French culture and space for a while. I just found out about them this year, but I'm gonna check it out and see if I can relate to any of these cultural differences, or if maybe I can, let's see what's up, man. See what they talking about. Probably most likely I'm gonna be able to relate and understand what they're talking about, because me too, I'm from America. But besides that, man, if you're new to the channel, man, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. My French family, make sure y'all go subscribe to my second channel, Zero Tats. That's where all the French music is going. Everything French, you know what I'm saying? I do it over there. Make sure y'all subscribe to my Twitch. I'm on Twitch every night, live, gaming, baby. So if you like gaming, watch some gaming, come holler at me over there, TikTok, Instagram, and X, I'm there. But besides that, let's go.
There are a lot of things that are really similar between the US and France, but there are a lot that are very different too, especially in day-to-day living. In our 3 years living here, we've learned about a bunch of them, especially from making faux pas. So in this video, we'll share 34 differences.
Making what? Faux pas.
Especially in day-to-day living. In our 3 years living here, we've learned about a bunch of them, especially from making faux pas. So in this video, we'll share 34 differences so you'll know what to expect when you're shopping, eating out, or things in hotels and rental apartments, so you won't be surprised or make embarrassing mistakes while you're here. Allez, on y va. So let's start with some differences around the home. Whether you're staying in a hotel or a rental apartment in France, you're going to notice some things that are typical for the French that may seem weird for people who are visiting. For instance, homes in France are generally much smaller than the US. The rooms are smaller and there's less of them. And if you're staying in an apartment rental, don't expect a lot of room, because when French people visit our home, they often comment on how big our kitchen is. In the beginning, I would just laugh because our kitchen is about the size of my old walk-in closet, but here, that's just a luxury.
Paris has vacation homes just like in the US, but if you're planning on using Airbnb, you need to know that the rules that apply in the US are way different here in Paris and in France. The Airbnb hosts are governed by a whole different set of rules than American hosts. For instance, the number of days they are allowed to rent a unit out per year is limited to 120 days. They often do whatever they want and fly under the radar. But if they have neighbors reporting them, they may cancel on you to avoid paying a penalty for going over the limit. We've also heard some horror stories about the conditions of units or hosts not being responsive. If you are looking to rent a vacation home in France, check out more business-oriented systems like VRBO and Booking.com.
While it's not uncommon to find hotels and apartments in Paris that have elevators, it is common that those elevators don't work. The view from the top floor may be very nice, but you have to ask yourself how much luggage you have and if it's worth bringing all of those bags up the stairs, because there's a possibility that the elevator in your hotel may be out of order.
And then?
Or very, very small. You see how big that one was. Now, a lot of these apartments here, because there's a lot of old, there's a lot of old buildings here, apartments. So a lot of them do not have elevators. And sometimes your friends live on the top 5th floor or whatever the case may be. And over here, the flooring is different as well. You know, one thing about the flooring, so what we call the first floor, that's the 0 floor. And then what we call the second floor is the first floor. And that's something I learned over here in France. And I was like, damn, yeah. He said, I live on the first floor. So I'm on the bottom floor looking for my friend's house. Like, man, what are you talking about? He's like, à l'étage. etage mean the next, you know what I'm saying, up one side, flight of stairs. But yeah, man, that's one thing you gotta watch out for is the small elevators and the levels.
There is the air conditioning. In the US, it would be very unusual to rent or book a place without AC. But in France, a place with air conditioning is a rare and a luxury that very few places have. We don't have AC in our home, and we've learned to live without it. The good news is it can be very hot during hot summer days, but it usually cools off at night. And altogether, we may have 2 weeks combined where we really wish we had AC. The rest of the time in France, it's perfectly fine without AC.
Unless you're staying in an apartment or a hotel that caters to American tourists, chances are you're not going to find a top sheet on your bed. The French use a bottom sheet and a duvet or comforter. The duvet cover is removed and washed the way you would wash a top sheet when you change the bed. But whether it's winter or summer, you're going to have a comforter style thing for your top sheet. The good news is that other than brief periods in the summer, the nights are generally pretty cool. And on another note, you're probably going to have a big square pillow. The French don't use the kind of rectangular pillows that most Americans are used to. That's just how it is.
Now in France, there is a difference between a bathroom and a toilet. Bathrooms are for bathing, and toilets are for, well, you know. Now, unless you are in a really high-end spot, don't expect to find a toilet in the bathroom. The bathroom will generally just have a shower and a sink. And it's not common to have a bathtub. And it's pretty common for your shower not to have a door or a curtain. This one still baffles me. It may be somehow connected to handheld shower heads and water conservation, I don't know. But don't be surprised if you don't have a door or a curtain on your shower.
If you're staying in a
Sometimes, yeah, that's right. Sometimes you don't have a door or a curtain; it just be open, like. But I don't know why that is. But most of them are handheld showers where you go attach it to the top and take it off and do your body. You know, I find that very, very useful. That shower style, and I like the Italian showers. There's a lot of Italian style showers where the shower is above your head. The water just comes to me. I like that style. You know, like in America, it's just you got the shower head right there fixed to the wall and the water coming out. You can't take it and get up under where you need to get back behind. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. But yeah, the shower system in France, I like it.
Apartment in Paris or another big city in France, you may find some things that surprise you in the kitchen, like a washing machine for your laundry, or a tiny dorm-sized refrigerator and no freezer. When we rented our home, it never occurred to me to ask if there was a refrigerator in the kitchen. I just assumed that we would have a full-size fridge. Back in Florida, we had a full-size refrigerator and freezer in both the kitchen and the garage. So of course, when we moved to France, we bought a small refrigerator freezer to put in the basement. And oddly enough, we rarely use it, because we visit the local markets and buy fresh food and items on a regular basis. That's just the local lifestyle. The next differences are all about shopping. Grocery shopping in France happens different than the US too, like what you buy, where you buy it, even where you find things in the store. Although there are stores like Costco in France, the French don't generally stock up or fill their pantries in the way that Americans do. They shop more frequently and buy less on a regular basis. The focus is on quality and freshness, and we shop for specific meals.
Since moving to France, going to the
And that milk in France lasts longer than the one in America. And you don't have to keep it in the refrigerator. That's crazy, huh? Ours in America, that stuff lasts maybe 2 weeks. Here in France, it lasts a long time and it's great quality. I don't understand why. You know, maybe there's videos on YouTube or something like this that can tell and dive deep into why that is. But man, it's like, and then I start thinking about America. America wants you to spend money like 90 going north. So, you know.
grocery store is not something that we do often. We go there if we need things like laundry soap, toilet paper, or shampoo. But for regular shopping, we go to the local marché and visit our favorite vendors for produce, charcuterie, eggs, and cheese. They also have vendors that sell clothing or household goods and seasonal products. You'll find these markets twice and sometimes
those stripes,
three
don't
times
she?
per week in towns all over France. In Paris, there are markets like this and they
And
are
she looking
open
hard.
every day.
She like those black and white stripes. Lady, you are looking up. You got one on. You looking hard to find something, huh?
Like the one in Aligre.
Now, a cavist is not just a regular wine snob. They are sommeliers who know and love wine, and they're likely to have relationships with many small family-owned vineyards, and they can recommend some extraordinary wines at reasonable prices. And not to mention that most of them will sell full or half bottles and are quick to chill them for your picnics.
Another place to shop in Paris is to go to a specialty store that you will see all over the place. Boulangerie, fromagerie, chocolatier, patisseries, and cavists. These are stores that specialize in something particular. And it doesn't mean that they're expensive gourmet stores. It means that they are owned and operated by people who are professionals in that industry. Before moving here, we would thought to go to a bakery or boulangerie to buy macarons. But you'll actually find the best macaron in artisanal chocolate shops. It is worth noting here that when you're looking for top quality croissant or cheese, you should look for the word artisanal. This is an actual distinction in France regarding products that are made by hand and are not industrially produced. It refers to the level of skills or training of the producer, and you can expect that they use locally sourced fresh ingredients. When given a choice, choose the artisanal one.
Like the one
it's
in America.
not just a marketing term in France.
In America, we got that nonsense. Those right there, that's good stuff right there. Boy, they get that butter already. You don't even need to add butter, but you can. Put your little bit of jam on there. You feel me?
Given a choice, choose the artisanal one. It's not just a marketing term in France. In the US, when you see a price in the store, you're used to adding a little bit on top of the price to figure out what is the real amount, including taxes. But here in France, you don't have to do that. For sure, it says it's 50 euros. It's 50 euros out the door. That's true in shops, but also in restaurants. In fact, even the service in a restaurant is already included in the price on the menu. Of course, your server will appreciate if you leave something extra, but you don't have to. Most French people just round up the bill or leave a euro or two on the table.
In the US, you
they have a $100 bill, give somebody €2 for the service. But that's just the way of life here in France, you know. That's another thing that I recognize, like when I first got here, like, you know, in America, you see a price and then you're trying to figure out, man, how much they gonna charge for tax? Because in certain states it's different. I know in Denver, it used to be like 7%. So if something costs 99 cents, you got to pay $1.06. $1.06. So you should always try to be calculating and see how much money you need to go to the store and buy what you want. But in France, straight out the door, if it say 39, it's 39. Nothing else. If it says 2, it's 2. Nothing else. And I like that. I like that format because you know what it is. You don't have to guess and say, oh, I need to get this and that. Then you got to do all that, getting all that silly change back. No, man. Straight to the point.
probably wouldn't think to buy just one stalk of celery or only 2 eggs when you go grocery shopping. But here in France, people do it all the time. I remember the first time I heard an older woman ask for a piece of bread this big in a boulangerie. The baker took out a knife and cut the piece. There's a mindset here of not wasting food or money, so you can just get what you need. And I love that I can go into a chocolate shop and just buy 2 pieces of chocolate if that's all I want.
If you're gonna spend some time in Paris, make sure to check out our Paris travel guides. We have one which is a bundle of 7 of our top guides, or you can buy them individually. There's a link in the description. Check it out and see if it's for you. Next is inside of a grocery store, you may not find the items you're looking for where you would expect them to be. For instance, milk and eggs are not in the dairy section. They are with the dry goods. American foods are in the international section. And don't be surprised to find a whole row of just cheese or just yogurts. Those sections are huge, and you'll find a row of hard liquor in addition to beer and wine in a regular grocery store.
Yeah.
You'll find shampoo and hygiene or
Everything.
makeup stuff in a grocery store, but you won't find aspirin or Alka-Seltzer type of things. Medicine and health-related things are only in a pharmacy. By the way, you won't find flip-flops or Cheetos in a pharmacy either. A pharmacy is just for health-related items.
Yep.
The U.S. is
Yeah, that's right. You'll see in the grocery store, they got liquor everywhere, and like, what the hell? What the hell is this? Selling liquor in the grocery store, and then here, you only got to be 18 to drink liquor. Man, that's some stuff to get used to. But this guy, when he talks, man, I feel like he has a certain type of accent. Is he original French and married his wife? I don't know, man. I hear an accent, guys. If y'all hear an accent as well, let me know.
full of shopping malls and strip malls, but France is full of small boutiques and family-owned businesses. And the charm of those shops is part of what makes walking through the streets of Paris so delightful. For the most part, the national international chain stores will be in touristic areas or inside a train station. But do yourself a favor and go window shopping down the streets of Paris. In the US, stores advertise sales all the time. It seems like every holiday has a sale. But in France, sales in stores are regulated. A shop just can't decide to discount their stuff. Sales happen twice a year, in January and in June. So other than these 2 months out of the year, don't expect to see big sales in Paris or around France.
Another thing that's different is all over France, you're going to find stores called épiceries. These are gourmet shops selling specialty items from various regions of France. These are foodies' delight, and they are full of amazing souvenirs to take home and relive your Paris adventure.
Now let's look at some differences about transportation. In the US, it's common to find multiple cars in the driveway of a family home, but it's not like that here in France. With the kind of public transportation available, many families don't even own a car. They walk or bike or use buses and use metros or trains to get just about anywhere.
In the US, getting an Uber is simple and effective. Now, you may have the same experience here in France, but not necessarily. We've had it happen when we ordered a ride and there aren't drivers that picked it up. It has also happened that the ride was picked up by a driver and then they cancel right before they arrive. In our experience, Uber is not nearly as reliable in France as it is in the US. On top of that, Ubers are not allowed to drive in the bus lanes the way taxis are. And that makes a big difference during peak hours. The closest alternative is the G7 taxi app, which works just like ordering and paying for an Uber. It's just a pre-qualified taxi and you have the benefits that they drive in the bus lane.
In the US, I never really think about taking a bus. It's like the option of last resort. But here in France, the bus system is quite efficient, clean, affordable, and it's a great way to see the sights while you're riding around Paris.
In the US, we have a car culture and a car mentality. I remember driving just a few minutes to get to the grocery store. But with many people living in the suburbs, you kind of have to drive to get places. Paris, on the other hand, is quite walkable. Hotels and apartments are right in town mixed together with shops, restaurants, and attractions. You're not going to need a car here.
The next items are about...
Hold on. Let's talk about that a little bit, because something he's not telling you. You don't want to drive in Paris because the traffic is crazy. Listen, y'all know that traffic like in LA, New York? It's like that in Paris. You'll be stuck in the traffic. You need to go 2 miles. You might be waiting 20 minutes. For real. So you don't even want, it's more accessible to use the subway, the bus. You can even rent one of those little scooters, a bicycle. It's better to travel like that than drive your car. Unless you live all the way in the suburbs and you need to go to Paris and go to specific places. You can get away with driving, but it depends on the hours. Most likely, get on the subway and do what you got to do. See, he's talking about Paris, but in France, there's other cities that's not as big as Paris where you can drive and, like here in Tours. If I need to go to basketball training, I can drive there, no problem. Waiting on the bus is a little hectic because the bus is coming from where I live to over there. It's not really running as frequent. So I would have to catch 3 buses to get to where I need to go, or 2 buses to get to where I need to go. I can just drive there and I'm there in 10 minutes. So, but in Paris, it's too busy. You can't. That's not gonna work.
food and eating.
Something that is funny here in France is the thing that they eat with a fork and the thing that they eat with their fingers. In France, we've seen people using a fork to eat things like French fries, sandwiches, and barbecue ribs.
Bro.
Even our once all-American
Bruh.
son has started eating hamburgers on a bun with a knife and fork.
And there are some things
Bruh, they eat pizza with a knife and fork, dog. I'm sorry, man. I can't do it, bruh. I don't even want to try to, I'm not even going to try to fit in like I'm French, bruh. I can't, I'm not about to eat my pizza with, but some of these pizzas you have to eat it with because they put certain stuff on there and it be falling off, but still, man, I'm putting mine up, squeezing it up like a sandwich and getting it in, bruh. That's just how I'm doing it. I'm going to cut it with a knife. But I'm not eating no pizza with a fork. I'm not doing that. That's just disrespectful. I can't do that. I can't eat that. I can't eat barbecue with a knife and fork. What? Barbecue ribs with a knife and fork? Man, what? A hamburger with a knife and fork? Even my hamburger, I'm not eating with a fork. I cut it. I'm eating with my, man, now I gotta get, bruh, what? You feel me? That's real life, baby.
on a French menu that will look a little bit bizarre to an American. Like omelets and waffles aren't breakfast foods. Here, omelets are a main course for lunch, and waffles are a dessert. And by the way, cheese is also on the dessert menu, and salad doesn't come before the meal, it comes after. And those French fries won't come with ketchup. They're gonna come with mayonnaise, and you'll eat them with a fork.
In the US,
That ain't true. That's not true. Mine come. They give you ketchup and mayonnaise. They don't do no. They don't only give you mayonnaise. That's not true. From my experiences. Now, if you ask for mayonnaise, they give it to you. If you ask for ketchup, they give it to you. But you must ask for what you want. They're not just bringing out mayonnaise. They ask you what you want. You know what I mean? So I didn't experience that. They only brought me mayonnaise because they bring out ketchup as well. I can't say that. But yes. Waffles are dessert. They're not eggs and waffles. No. You're going to eat your eggs and you're going to get the waffles as dessert. Or pancakes, dessert. French toast, like a dessert, man. So, yeah.
Not uncommon to make special requests when ordering food in a restaurant, like hold the onions or please use soy milk. But in France, restaurants are not used to having locals make these kinds of requests. Of course, they take allergies very seriously, but they just aren't in the habit of changing their chef's creation unless absolutely necessary. When dining out, the French trust that the chef knows best how they prepare an excellent meal and how they submit to enjoying what the chef prepares. If you are nervous about trying something or are traveling with a picky eater, check out our video on the top iconic French dishes and what's in them. And don't be afraid to ask your waiter as well. Use Google Translate if they don't speak English.
In the US, you're gonna have a waiter come over and offer you a beverage before a meal, but they don't necessarily mean something with alcohol. In France, your meal will start with an apéro, even at lunch. And it's common here to have an adult beverage before the meal and a glass of wine with your lunch. You don't have to drink alcohol, but it would be normal to order a glass of wine or champagne or have some liquor. These beverages aren't an excuse to get drunk during the day. You'll have them to whet your appetite and enhance your meal, and regardless of the time of day, you will be offered a cup of coffee to complete the meal.
In France, meals are a dining experience. There are social events to be enjoyed, to be savored, and they last longer. And you don't have servers dropping the bill on your table without you requesting it. They expect you to relax and dine. They won't come around asking if everything is okay. If you need something, give the universal signal. But for the most part, they will leave you alone to visit with the people you came to share your meal with.
What's the universal signal?
In the US, things are pretty casual. Like, your server might come to your table and say, "Hi, my name is Becky. Can I take your order?" That won't happen in France. And even if the person taking care of you is wearing a name tag, do not refer to them by their first name. Life here is much more formal. Your server is not your friend, and they are providing a professional service. And they'll generally be friendly, but they won't be casual like an American server.
The next differences between France and the US is about socializing. In the US, it's very common to get your server or your clerk's attention by saying, "Excuse me," and then lead with your question. Like, for example, "Excuse me, where are the bathroom, please?" But in France, you need to start with bonjour. It's a greeting that establishes a mutual respect and regard between you and the person you are interrupting to get what you want. There have been times when I forgot this rule and quickly regretted it. Bonjour is a way to regard their humanity.
In the US, people tend to greet each other with a hug or a handshake, sometimes even a head nod. But in France, we kiss. 2 times.
Man and girl.
It doesn't
girl
matter
and girl.
whether it's a man or a woman.
Man,
we
man,
kiss
ain't
once on
kissing.
each cheek, unless it's a special occasion. And then we kiss 3 times or more. If you're invited to a party...
Yeah, say that's for men and like men and men. Usually not kissing unless you grew up with the person from like a young age. Y'all really close friends, then y'all might do. But normally man and man don't do all that.
France, plan on staying there for at least 5 hours. That's just how it is. When Antoine's mom would visit us in the US, people would stop by for dinner around 7, and we told her they would be gone by 9:30 or 10. She thought we were crazy. Sure enough, by 10 p.m. we were either cleaning up or going to bed. If a party in France wraps up more quickly, it would be understood that people were not having a good time.
Another difference is in the US, it's quite normal to arrive at a party at a friend's house with a bottle of wine. But in France, bringing a bottle of wine and giving it to your host as a present would imply that you don't think that they have a good bottle. And how could you know what bottle will go best with what they're serving? In France, don't bring a bottle of wine to your dinner unless explicitly asked. Instead, bring flowers. Another difference is in the US, for example, it's very easy to find a public restroom anywhere. But that's not true in France. I remember Colleen asking me to stop at a grocery store so she could go. And I told her, I bet you they don't have one. And I was right. Not only they did not have a restroom available, but they looked at her like she was crazy for asking. In Paris, you'll find paid toilets where you have to put a coin to open the door all around the city. Think porta potty with a quarter. You'll also find paid toilets in train station and some metro station. Even inside the shopping malls at Les Halles, takes €1 to get in. Don't expect to pee for free unless you are in a museum or a paying customer in a restaurant or a bar. Even in large department store, you will find a restroom usually next to the cafe if they have one.
And on a related and maybe risque topic, don't be surprised if you see grown men peeing in public. It shocked me the first time I saw that. As an American, I remember thinking, wow, he's lucky a cop didn't catch him doing that. But then I saw a cop doing it. There are literally places all around Paris with outdoor urinals that look like little merry-go-rounds. And I, for one, am thankful that I don't have to use anything like that. In this video, you learned about cultural differences between the US and France. And next, I would watch this video with 10 unspoken rules.
Yep, that's it, huh? They did a good job. That's a great job, as a matter of fact. Because there's a lot of differences and a lot of, cultural differences. And some stuff now, like they brought us some stuff that I noticed, that I remember. Because when I first got here, I noticed a lot of things. I wish I was doing YouTube back then. I would have filmed this stuff. And I used to think about doing YouTube back then, but I just never had the audacity. But now I'm doing it. But yeah, there's a lot. And I think I'm going to do a video about some differences as well. But besides that, guys, I'm going to see y'all in the next video.